I'm Angel. Today we're going to talk about 5 tips to save you money in the new year. Let's get into it. Historically, I have not been good with money, and that is something that I want to change in this new year. So here are the 5 things that I'm doing as a mother of 2 who is working from home to save my family money. Number 1, pick up orders. Yes, pick up orders. They have changed my life. The pandemic has made them ubiquitous, and I am all for it. Before the pandemic, I used to go to the grocery store and I'd have a budget in mind, and then I'd throw things into the cart, get to a certain number in my head, and put more things in the cart and forget what that number was. So I would always get to the checkout thinking, I think it's around my budget. I think I was okay. I guess we'll see. And then it's not. It's not. And sometimes it was way over budget, which, at that point you're like, well, I'm too embarrassed to put these back, so I guess I'm taking them home. And that's not good. It's not good. It's not good for you. It's not good for your wallet. It's not good for your family. So here's what I do. Throughout the week, I set up a Walmart pickup order. You can use Target. You can use whatever grocery store you prefer, but I use Walmart because that's what's closest to us. And throughout the week, I add those items to my cart so that once I'm ready to check out, the number is there for you. It calculates it for you. You don't have to do any math. You don't have to try to remember it or have a calculator out while you're shopping. It's done. Yes, it might be preferable to pick out your own produce, or, if you're that kind of person, that's okay too. But for me, it's more important that we stick in the budget, that we stick to our budget, stick to the budget, than it is for me to get the best produce. Because at the end of the day, I can cut out those bad spots. Number 2, setting a budget and automating it. I probably should have made it number 1, You should probably set a budget first before you go shopping, but for some reason I put it at number 2. The order doesn't matter here. The point is, you need to have a budget. If you don't have a budget, you need to sit down, look at your bank statements, look at your income, and establish a budget that works for your family. But the key for my family has been automating it. So this is not sponsored, but we use Mint. And I highly recommend it because you can have it on your phone, you can have it on your computer. So if you're out shopping and you have a device with you, you can check it while you shop. And it's been a game changer for our family because you can set your budgets together. You can work with other members of your family to ensure that everyone knows what the budget is. You can take transactions as they come in and put them in the right buckets for the right budgets. So, highly recommend setting a budget, but also automating it. It's okay if you don't want to automate it, or your automation could be you have a checkbook in Excel or Google Sheets, and that's your system. Whatever your system is, find it and stick to it. Number 3, this has been a game changer. This tip is changing my life. And that is scheduling your shopping trips. Schedule them. I'm gonna take a dramatic step for effect. Ready? Okay, so the modern world makes it so easy to get what you need right when you think you need it. Okay, you're in the kitchen, you're cooking dinner, your spatula breaks, and you're like, I'll just get on Amazon and order another one right now while I'm thinking about it. Well, now you've spent money. And then when it happens again, when the laundry basket breaks, you're like, well, I'll just get on Target.com and do a quick pickup order to get a new laundry basket. And then by the end of the month, you log into your bank account and you're like, oh, oh, that $10 here, that $20 here ended up being a lot more money than I thought. I should have been keeping track of that. So if you're like me and you've been living that kind of lifestyle, that reactionary, I need this now, I'm gonna go buy it, and it, everything will be great, and you're not checking up on yourself, scheduling your shopping trips will change your world. It changed mine. So last year, that's how I lived my life. That's how I live my life. I just got what I needed when I needed it and provided for the family the way I thought was best to provide for the family. It's not, at least not for me. It's not, because then you get to the end of the month and you're like, oh, well, we could have put that money in savings. Like, we really didn't need that right away. Or, hey, that new spatula that I bought, it turns out I found a second one in the other drawer I didn't know I had. And now I'm back to having 2 spatulas, one of which I don't use. So I have been testing out this tip throughout the month of January, and it has been highly successful. I have stayed within all of my budgets, and we haven't needed a thing in between. I feel like we need things, but then I just add it to my Amazon cart, but I don't purchase it, or I add it to my Walmart pickup cart and I wait until it's time to actually click buy at our scheduled date. And I find that half the time the things that I put in that cart, I don't need. I come back to it when I'm ready to actually purchase those items, and I'm like, why is this in here? I don't need this anymore. Why did I think that this was so important? Or I might think, okay, yeah, it'd be nice to have that item, but we really need diapers this month, or we really need wipes, or I need to replenish this particular canned food. There are certain things that are necessities that you have to buy to provide for your family. And so by scheduling those shopping trips, it helps you to allow those reactionary urges to marinate, and then you can think about it more clearly when you go to buy, and it helps you better assess what things are necessary and what things are not. So, how am I doing it in the month of January 2023? My routine is that we do 2 grocery shopping trips a month. On the first weekend, and then we skip a weekend, and then the next weekend we have 2 grocery shopping trips, and we split the grocery budget between them. Now, you could do that a different way. Like, maybe at the beginning of the month, you buy, 30% of your grocery budget, and the end of the month you stock up on all your pantry goods or something, so you give yourself a little more money. Or if you want to have fresh produce every week, have a weekly shopping trip and split your grocery budget in 4. That's okay too. Find a schedule that works for you. For us, we're a little far from the grocery store, so I don't really want to go every week. So we're doing every other week. And we're doing 1 Costco trip in between. And when it comes to Amazon, because, oh honey, I like Amazon. Amazon is my friend. I go on there when I'm bored. It's like a smartphone game. My husband sits on his phone, plays games. I go on Amazon. And that's not a good habit. It's not a good habit. So what I'm doing is I'm waiting until the end of the month. At the end of the month, you've used your money to buy your essentials, to buy your groceries, to buy your diapers, to pay for your mortgage, and then you have your discretionary budget left over. And sometimes throughout the month, that discretionary budget has to go to an expense that you weren't anticipating. So if that's the case, you put it there. But if there's a little left over, maybe you can buy those things off Amazon that you wanted to. Number 4, transparency. Oh, honey, this is so important, and I hate it. I hate it. And I think that's a sign that I don't have healthy spending habits. And there are so many TikTok videos out there about wives who spend too much money and their husbands get mad, and they're cute, but they're kind of sad, right? They're kind of sad. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been that person. I've been that person that's gotten one too many Amazon boxes in one day. I've been like, I better hide these in the laundry room before my husband gets home. And it was in that moment that I realized, like, I don't want to hide things from him. I don't want to feel like I'm overspending and it's going to upset my spouse or blow our family's budget. So, transparency with your spouse or your family or some budget buddy friend that you're, accountability person, it's so important. It's so important to keeping you on track. Okay, so transparency with your spouse so that you're working together to build up your family's finances, or if you're on your own, that's okay too. Have somebody you can talk to about this. Have somebody who motivates you to do better. They don't have to know every single detail of your finances unless they're your spouse. You and your spouse should know everything. You should be completely honest with everything. I'm saying this a lot for myself, but also for you. That's my philosophy. Everyone's marriage and partnership is different, but personally, I think honesty is the best policy. It's a cliche for a reason, but if you're on your own, you might not want to share your credit card number, for example. I wouldn't recommend that, but you can talk to somebody about, hey, here's my plan. What do you think? I think I want to schedule my shopping trips. I think I'm going to do the snowball strategy for knocking out my credit cards. What do you do? What kind of tips do you have? So, transparency, honesty, get everything on the table and stick to it. Just get it out there, get over it, and have somebody you can partner with to help keep you on track. The final tip, plan ahead. Yes, it's kind of common sense. I know. But I haven't been the best about sticking to this. Meal planning is hard. And sometimes when I meal plan, I'm like, I don't want to eat that. I want pizza. I want burgers. I want some frozen food that I don't have to put that much effort into. But at the end of the day, if you don't eat the food that you have or don't use the items in your house that you have, you're throwing away money. And yes, there are times when you need to prioritize your mental health or you need to prioritize your house. If you have a complete mess, if you're a mom like me and your house is a complete mess, there are times where you're just gonna throw stuff away. You're just gonna throw stuff away because you just can't deal. And that's okay too. Recognize those times when it's okay to not use what you have and those times when you can use what you have. You need to find that balance. I need to find that balance. So it's especially true for me and groceries. I tend to pick the easier option because I work and just being a mom is a lot. And so sometimes the easier option is better than not eating at all, right? And that's okay to have nights like that, but try not to make it a habit. At least that's the advice I'm giving myself. I want to have a meal plan. I want to use the food that we have. And if you know that you're not going to use items like produce or milk or anything that's perishable within the time frame of it expiring, don't buy those items. Don't buy them. Now that I have 2 kids and I work and I don't have a lot of time to do all this cooking from scratch that I used to when I was a single girl and newly married, I buy a lot of canned and a lot of frozen food. That's what I do now because you have it in the freezer. You can buy all these vegetables pre-cleansed, pre-chopped, and you just take the bag, toss it in the microwave, and hit 5 minutes and it's done. It's steamed. There you go. You don't have to do anything else. So use what you have and try to buy items that aren't going to go bad so that you can use them within the time frame that you expect to. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. I'm very excited about these tips and tricks that I've been trying out this month. So far, they're working for me. Maybe in the future, I'll make a video where I check in and let you know how things are going, and if I learn anything new, I'll be sure to share that with you too. Thanks for watching. I'm Angel. Bye.